Welcome in, everybody. Before we get into tonight's update, we have to go over a synopsis of what's going on. We have some breaking news here as Brad Garlinghouse came out, and I have an article to back this up as well. Actually, Brad Garlinghouse backs up what the article has that I had found. So it shows that Ripple actually has exposure to Silicon Valley Bank. So some of its funds was held up in this bank. So I don't know how much of Ripple's funds, as they guaranteed it wouldn't interrupt, or hasn't at least thus far interrupted with day-to-day operations. And they said they have multiple other banks that they deal with. But I don't like the fact that Ripple has exposure to Silicon Valley Bank. That is a big problem here. And what does that have to do with the XRP price action? It's not directly, Ripple isn't XRP, but it is kind of goes hand in hand with what XRP's price action is doing. So we need to see what's going on there. I have something that I can read to kind of put some little more exposure onto that topic. And then I also have what Brad Garlinghouse said on Twitter. We'll also take a look at XRP's price action, as something isn't right here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to look at the total crypto market cap, and we have a very big divergence going on as the price is increasing rapidly, but the volume continues to crash. So we'll see exactly what this is, and we'll explain a little bit more into detail. Explain a little more into detail what a negative divergence or bearish divergence is. We'll call it a negative divergence, I suppose. When the price action is rising, but the volume is actually decreasing, and this can cause bigger problems, as it would suggest that the broader market isn't buying in. But we'll see exactly what this has to do with. But the main story here is the breaking news that Brad Garlinghouse confirms exposure to Ripple, or Ripple's exposure to Silicon Valley Bank. Just bankrupted in California. It's a big story going on right now, and it sucks that Ripple has exposure. Make sure that like button is really would help push me through the analytics and get more people in here in a timely fashion to see this breaking news. Catch you on the other side of the intro. Good evening, 6:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, March 12th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So we have some bad news we have to break out. I do the FUD-free news, so whether it makes me popular or it makes me look like a dick, I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to release it to you as I find it, and I'm going to try to keep you ahead of times, to where you can see things right as they break. And right here, Brad Garlinghouse at 5:14 p.m., setting the record straight on Silicon Valley Bank questions. Ripple had some exposure to Silicon Valley Bank. And if you don't know, Silicon Valley Bank has gone bankrupt. And I did a whole big piece on it yesterday. But they're I think they're the 16th largest bank in the USA. But they house a lot of like the tech companies and venture capitalists. So the ones who have startups in crypto and such, blah, blah, blah. So that's where Ripple decided to hold. They didn't say how much of their money, but I'm going to assume it's a rather large sum of money that they have in the USA would be held in that bank. It was a banking partner and held some of our cash balance. Fortunately, we expect no disruption to our day-to-day business and already held a majority of our USD with a broader network of bank partners. So they're claiming that a majority of it is not held with this bank. For their sake, I hope that's true and they're not just pulling our leg. Brad Garlinghouse also stated 53 minutes ago, obviously a lot is still unknown about what happens with Silicon Valley Bank, and as is the case with many others, we hope to have more details soon, but rest assured Ripple remains in a strong financial position. It's ironic that so much of what's happening as some companies scramble to make payroll highlights how broken our financial systems still are, i.e. wires are still not 24/7, 365. Rumors lead to collapse and the frictions of moving money within a deeply fragmented system. So this is pretty interesting. But again, Ripple seems that they could help with this problem just by the solutions they offer. So make sure you're paying attention to this breaking news, as Brad Garlinghouse indeed has confirmed the exposure of Ripple to Silicon Valley Bank with some of their cash on hand balance was held in that bank. the formerly bank, now bankrupted. I believe it was the 16th largest bank in the USA. And then let's go into this just a little bit farther, and then we'll take a look at the XRP and then the total crypto market cap, what I was talking about. So Ripple discloses exposure to SVP, which is Silicon Valley Bank, not cause business operations disruption. So while the future of Silicon Valley Bank is still being decided, another crypto player has declared exposure to the failed bank. And this time around, the firm in the headlines is Ripple, a popular blockchain-based digital payment network. In a Twitter thread, CEO Brad Garlinghouse stated that the company had exposure to Silicon Valley Bank. The CEO stated that the firm has held some cash balances, as we already know. So we already read through this, but this is just some of the news that was getting out there. Now this is the important part. The CEO stated that the firm had held some cash balances in SBV, as it was its banking partner, but he did not disclose the amount held in the bank. Nonetheless, Garlinghouse assured that the bank's collapse has not caused any disruption to its day-to-day business operations. Additionally, he stated that a majority of our USD with a broader network of bank partners. So hopefully that is true, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now let's take a look at the XRP chart real quick. As we can see, we're at 36361 on the USDT, but on the XRP, we're at 3692 up here, up 0.16% on the day. And we have had quite the move here today, coming back up from roughly 3537. Now we're at the 200 day, so we're going to try to break the 37 cents. And then we're going to see if we can contend back up here with the 384. It's a very dangerous setup today for longs and shorts, as it seems like they're liquidating each and every way they can possibly figure out. I know some people lost money without even having any exposure to the market because of what's going on with the USD debacle. But right now, it's a very dangerous market to be in. And we just got to, pay attention to this, because very well this could pop up. Now, the one thing I've noticed is even with all this moving up, there's no volume really coming in. So it seems like we're having decreasing volume as this continues to push up. So this is very dangerous. So right now with XRP, the main thing, I just want to show the quick chart. Look at this downtrending resistance. And if we get rejected at 384, if we do come back up there, this is all for nothing. And even quicker than that, if you get rejected at 37 cents and or the 377 level, this pattern's all for naught, and it's a quick rejection. But if you do break this level of the downtrending resistance, that's when, if you break the 384, you'd have to possibly pay attention to a further push up. Bitcoin's up 5.23% today, and it's absurd when you look at what's actually going on. You got one of the largest banks for venture capitalists, for crypto startups and such, technology-based in California, that has gone down. $3.3 billion of USDC was exposed in there. Ripple has exposure. Many other crypto places have exposure. But look, crypto just shrugs it off, ladies and gentlemen. What happens tomorrow? What is going on? Why are we pumping right now? These are things we need to ask ourselves. Like, we look at some of this, and we are pumping rather hard on some of these. And it's like, what's the reason for this? Can this be continued? Are we going to be able to maintain this kind of push? Or is this a broader trap here being set? Like, Bitcoin's up over 1,000 points after the news of this. And if you really look at it, Bitcoin's volume is decreasing on the push up. So I would be very scared right now, very nervous. If you're just buying in, just to buy in, to try to make a quick play or what. I mean, right now is the time. Like, up under 40 cents, XRP is giving you tremendous chances to buy. But this market looks like it could topple over. I understand that we're having a push up today. But generally, when you have a push up like this, you don't want to see decreasing volume at all. So that's with Bitcoin. I mean, you can see Bitcoin's chart. But what I want to pay more attention to is the total crypto market cap, which having a tremendous pump today. Just absolutely tremendous. And the total crypto market cap right now is at $969 billion right now. At $45 billion in one day, or 4.98% in one fucking day. It's almost as if they manipulated and set a trap for everybody, huh? It's almost as if they're tricking everybody, manipulating everything to where people are losing large sums of money and there's not a damn thing they can do about it. And by the time they realize what's going on, they flip it the other way. Right now, crypto is so manipulated, it's almost to the point where I may take all my liquid cash out until I find the bottom, because there's really no point having exposure to even on these exchanges with the way that they're treating things. So it makes you very nervous when you're watching this. At least it does me, even though I don't have much exposure to anything right now. And I have my money, I believe, in safe areas. It's just, when you see stuff like this, this is where they start liquidating longs, they start liquidating shorts, and it doesn't really matter what you do. You buy a long, they go short. You buy a short, they go long. And right now you can see, this market's being artificially pumped up right now. This is absolutely 100% being artificially pumped up. And these are the scariest times in crypto. You can see the total crypto market cap is pumping like a bitch right now. But look at that volume, folks. This is my last thing I'm going to talk about today. And I hope you get something out of this and pay attention. See that volume? That is not okay. That is not okay. We dump down. Nice spike. Push back up. The volume crashes. Up. I mean, the volume's crashed. This is eventually going to hit. Maybe it's going to hit the peak up here at 980 billion. But this, with this volume profile, is going to crash. This is a price divergence. Price and volume, if you're using the price volume. So the price action is increasing, but the price volume, or the volume coming in, is decreasing. And this is a bearish sign. So when the price is rising but volume is falling, it is called a negative divergence or bearish divergence, whatever you want to call it. This is because there is a divergence between the price and volume trends, which can be a warning sign for traders and investors. Negative divergence can indicate that the price increase is not being supported by increasing demand and may not be sustainable in the long term. It is important to pay attention to both price action and volume trends when making investment decisions, as they can provide valuable information about the overall health and direction of the market. Typically, rising price should be accompanied by an increase in trading volume, as this indicates that there is a high level of demand for the security. Conversely, falling price should be accompanied by decreasing volume, as this indicates that there is less demand for security. So right now, we have falling volume, but increase in price. So this is very bearish if this continues on. So we just need to pay attention to see how this plays on, because right now we're pumping. And we need to see if this is sustainable, because right now this just doesn't seem right. The volume is crashing on most of these assets as they continue to push up rather hard here. So pay very close attention. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything out of this, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to subscribe to Tom's Army or trade on the exchanges you see me trade on, it's all in the video description below and or the pinned comments. Trade on BitGet and MEXC with no spot fees. But I would advise you to keep your liquid cash on Uphold, because at least you can keep it on your fiat currency.